The Huawei Band 10 looks suspiciously similar to the former generation, and yet expectations are high. Is it still among the best fitness trackers out there? Let's inspect. Hey fella, good to meet you. I'm Michael, the Tech Mishkin. We're making today a deep dive with the Band 10, the freshest member of the popular Huawei fitness tracker line. And besides thoroughly reviewing the unit for you, my goal is to answer to two major questions. First of all, whether the Band 10 is still among the best fitness trackers out there on the market. And secondly, whether upgrading from any of the previous generations to Band 10 makes sense. So plenty. I want to show you a lot of tests that I have performed in order to demonstrate the qualities of the Band 10. So let's get started. Health tracking? Yeah, traditionally among the top strengths by Huawei. I still well remember the early days of the GT smartwatch line, where HR tracking has been particularly outstanding compared to other brands. Over time, Huawei have had decline in their leverage, and now it's just okay with the Band 10. I mean, most of the HR functions. At times where most trackers already have details about HRV, you can find it with this band only if you drill down to the sleep tracking area and expand the screen. On top, I'm not quite sure whether it is trustworthy at all, because the sleep tracking results are very far away from being optimal. As a person who faces certain challenges with sleep efficiency, I can share that Oura Ring measurements are super accurate, and I know this because I check the clock each and every time I wake up. And in this case, I've spent 20 minutes in bed reading right before I got up, something that remains undetected by the Band 10. From all the fitness trackers I've tested in the past year, this is the least reliable about sleep tracking in my opinion. The pedometer function is great, though, so is the SpO2 tracker and the remaining few cards available in the menu. There's now a trends section, a good idea which is based on prolonged usage and may give you some estimates, just as what other good wellness trackers provide. Yet, feels like Huawei needs to figure out a way to improve some of the aspects here. Concerning workouts, this is a fact we cannot miss. The HR sensor seems to be very accurate and detects well different stages of your pulse. True, it is about 12 beats per minute off the measured by Garmin Fenix 8 highest value, but for sure the graph is very similar and about 7% deviation is not that bad. We've seen wars with much more expensive qualified sports watches. If you're already in celebration mode because you see GPS track for this activity, I'm gonna have to disappoint you. Huawei Band 10 is without inbuilt GPS. You can rely on linking it to your smartphone, though. The amount of workouts is decent and it can well track most of your sports activities. Furthermore, Huawei continue to be among the very few out there who measure your movements with a 9-axis setup as opposed to the more traditional 6-axis. Not that this makes too much of a difference. Another good news about Band 10 is that it remains super compact, something which is evident right from the start, because this is how big or small the retail packing is. The well-known style and shape that Huawei maintained for years now. Sounds like a well-built identity, and I so much like the fact that there's a physical button on the side. Band 10 is among the devices with the smallest bumps around the sensors at the bottom, apparently no different to generations 8 or 9, and it's lovely to see that dimensions remain almost the same. There's an upgrade with the materials, with Huawei trying to escape from the plastic, and the strap. Yeah, the primary for Xiaomi Smart Band line approach, namely the buttoning, is used here as complementary way to keep the strap tidy. I definitely like this sense of humor. Straps are also detachable and you can use a lot of third parties. Just make sure to buy originals, or if you shop for alternatives, be careful because poor plastic can easily eject under pressure. The list with the tech specs shows no surprises. Furthermore, I'm gonna make a copy-paste from last year's review and there will be nothing technically wrong. Same sensor setup, same features, similar performance. Behind all of these specs, I want to make it very clear what's the difference between Band 9 and 10. And if you hear this, metal versus metal, the Jerry Rig Everything knife. Pretty cool. Apparently, the major difference now is the case. Aluminium alloy as opposed to plastic, and something I honestly never noticed up until the point I started to dig more information about this very video. So it's not that apparent, but a nice change, and it bumps up the weight by 1 gram, and now this whole housing in the case weighs 15 grams. Other than that, in terms of hardware, inside everything is the same as Generation 9. Most of the notable differences are on the software end, because Huawei managed to integrate some AI functions, some software refinements, and maybe some app improvements. And I'm going to highlight them, of course, but first I want to tell you more about this pretty nice display. It for sure looks nice, and the software is designed so that the available space is well utilized. Auto brightness mode is present as well, but get to scroll more intensively. And I personally have the feeling that this is at 30 Hz. And I intentionally did a 60p recording and brought it down to slow motion so that I noticed that likely it is a slower panel indeed, which by 2025 standards and trends is rather inexcusable. Yes, good levels of brightness, great-looking menus, responsive interface, beautiful watch faces, but jittery scrolling. It wouldn't drive you crazy if you come from most iPhones, but if your smartphone has 120 Hz or greater refresh rate, you're going to notice the difference right away. The battery life, on the other hand, is great. It is one-to-one match with what the former editions do, just because there are no hardware changes. You can track all the health parameters, do some workouts, have always on display mode on, and it's gonna last 3 to 4 days, maybe sometimes up to 5 per cycle. Without AOD mode, up to 10 days, even longer if you get to tune the health tracking samples to be recorded at a slower pace. Charging happens via a Pogo pin connector and needs a bit more than 1 hour. Connectivity-wise, besides the Bluetooth BLE to the smartphone, nothing else. No way to link to earbuds or external HR tracker, no NFC for contactless payments, just the basics. The software is a bit more advanced though, I mean the configuration options at least. Truth is that the majority of the features here exist for a long time and haven't evolved much. Probably with exception for the annoying warnings and explanations around health tracking, Huawei drown you in explanations and requests to agree to their policies. They call the software Harmony OS. It is built around RTOS most likely, and is a basic and lightweight battery-friendly operating system, quite intuitive too. The smartphone app is also same old. Well, there happen to be some modern trends as well. Huawei have now the Health Plus paid subscription option, a lot of paid watch faces too. Luckily, there still are a lot of good freebies, but over time seem to get less and less. Interface hasn't changed much in the past 5 to 6 years, and while back then it used to be class-leading, nowadays it just feels alright. Very detailed, customizable, some third-party software integrations here and there, and that's pretty much it. Definitely could use some improvements towards wellness tracking. To the drawbacks, I feel that we should start with the display jitters, the Huawei Health app, which is not available in Google Play Store for Android users, the software remarks mentioned, the inaccurate sleep tracking, and the lack of meaningful upgrades over the past year. This is unexpected, because apart from the upgraded case, which yes feels more premium if you really are focused on discovering this new feature, I feel that everything else Huawei could have done through a significant firmware/software update to Huawei Band 9, and probably they could have delayed the release of Huawei Band 10. But given the fact that the price is still the same as with Band 9, I would say I'm happy enough. And if we want to give clear answers to the questions from the very beginning, yes, I still believe that Huawei Band 10 belongs to the best budget-oriented fitness trackers on the market. However, upgrades come with a slower pace. And if you wonder whether it makes sense upgrading from Band 9 or Band 8 or the 7th or the 6th generation, I think the answer clearly is no. Most likely, you want to keep your money and wait for Generation 11 or look elsewhere. And if you're really curious about what the competition is doing, I have a very thorough comparison between the Band 9, the Huawei's best and Samsung's best, and I'm going to link this video in the description below this one. By the way, a place where you can find link to the Huawei Band 10 and some ways to support my work. here on the channel. If you enjoyed the content thus far, give me a like, subscribe for more cool tech inspections, and I, Michael, wish you a fantastic day. Bye!